All right, folks, welcome. My name is Jen. I'm from Golden State Times. I hope this microphone is not too messed up. I don't know what happened today. We're trying to get it fixed, hopefully before all the events start, but for some reason it's giving us a little bit of problems today, but I hope that you guys can hear us. So if you can, make sure you guys give this live stream a thumbs up to let us know that you guys can hear us, folks. President Trump today talking about all of his federal judicial confirmation milestones that he has up to this point. President Trump has almost 115 judges appointed. That is more than any modern day president. The only one that beats President Trump when it comes to judicial nominations and confirmations is George Washington, folks. So he's the only one that beats President Trump in that, but he's okay with that. President Trump says he's fine. He's fine with George Washington beating him in that. But to every other president that has come after him, there has been no president with that many judicial nominations confirmed. So that is what President Trump is going to be talking about in this speech. So make sure you guys stay tuned live here at Golden State Times. Please share this live stream on social media. We hope that people are interested in this live stream. And yeah, so if you guys can please share this live stream on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Reddit, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. And we'll be back on the microphone, hopefully a little bit better in just a few moments.
Two great gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you all. Please sit down. Thank you very much. And I want to thank Representative Donalds as somebody with a future. I don't know if I'd trade him that future for the age. I'd love to pick up that age. That was a good age, but he's got a tremendous future ahead of him. And a very special thanks to Matthew Charles. I saw him on television the first time when he had so much difficulty trying to get something that he was really entitled to. And I looked at that smile That smile is infectious, and he's a great gentleman, and we're very proud of him. And I'm very proud of being involved with criminal justice reform and getting it done, getting it passed. And we had a lot of votes that normally wouldn't have gone that way, and they really, they were pushing me, some of them, at the end. And we have some of the folks here, Tim Scott, Lindsay, they're here, but I'm going to introduce them in a little while. But we had tremendous help. This was a bipartisan bill. We had a lot of support on both sides. And people that you would have least suspected really helped us a lot. So they've been trying to get this passed for many, many years. But to everyone at the 2020 Bipartisan Justice Center, it's my great privilege to speak with you today and my true honor to receive the Bipartisan Justice Award. I am very, very grateful for that, and it will be at a very high level in the Oval Office, a place called the Oval Office. Have you heard about that? It'll be right in the Oval Office with me. I'm very proud of it. Thank you. I also want to thank everyone from one of our nation's incredible HBCUs. I've been working with them. Benedict College. We know Benedict College. And especially your very dynamic president, Dr. Rosalind Clark Artis. Where is you? Where is Doctor? Where are you? And the outstanding students who are joining us today. You are outstanding, and you have a tremendous future. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. We're thrilled to be on your campus and to celebrate all that we have achieved together, and to discuss the actions that we're taking to build a future of safety and opportunity and fairness for all Americans. 4 years ago, 20 African-American Republicans and 20 African-American Democrats founded the 2020 Bipartisan Justice Center to advance the cause of criminal justice reform. And I'd heard about it for so long, and it was going nowhere. But they all got together. And you fought to fix a broken system. You sought to confront inequality and stop injustice. And you worked to restore hope and optimism where they are really needed the most and where there was very little. With your help, last year we brought the whole country together to achieve a truly momentous milestone. They said it couldn't be done. Past administrations had tried and failed. Some didn't try very hard, I will say that. But they tried and they failed. After years of waiting, we assembled a historic coalition, and it was indeed historic. We had them so liberal you wouldn't believe it, and so conservative you wouldn't believe it. And they got together. I said, how did we do that one? But it was a beautiful thing to watch. It really was. And we rallied activists and faith leaders and law enforcement and lawmakers alike. We worked across party lines very strongly. After all of the work and effort, we passed the bill, and I proudly signed it into law, the most significant criminal justice reform in many generations. We call it the First Step Act. I sort of like the idea of just calling it criminal justice reform. But first step is good because that allows a second step and a third step, and that's okay, because we can go there too. But the First Step Act proved that we can achieve amazing breakthroughs when we come together as a nation and we put the interests of our citizens before the interests of any political party. Since we passed this landmark legislation, 10 states have followed our lead and passed legislation that takes critical steps to advance criminal justice reform at the state level. We gave it a beautiful stepping stone, and some states have come and they've really taken it to a level that you'd be very proud of. And it's only because of what we did that they were able to do it legally and in many other ways. So I want to say congratulations to all of the leaders here today from Arizona, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Michigan, Nevada, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Tennessee. Congratulations. Great job. Really great job. We're also grateful to all of the mayors, city council members, and state legislators who are fighting for reform in your own communities. I especially want to thank the South Carolina leaders, and I have their names written down. There's so many of them. I'll do this before you, Henry. Is that okay? I want to introduce our great governor. They love Henry. They might like Peggy more, but that's okay. But we'll do this first. State Senator, they've helped so much, and President of the Senate, Harvey Peeler. Harvey, where are you, Harvey? Thank you, Harvey. State Senator Gerald Malloy. Gerald, thank you very much. Thank you. State Senator Katrina Shealy. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I thought you were over there. And State House members, Speaker Jay Lucas. Jay? Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Majority Leader Gary Simrill. Gary, thank you. And all members, Brandon Newton, Mike Burns, Bill Chumley, Peter McCoy, Celeste Davis, Chris Murphy, Bobby Cox, Alan Clemens. I want to just thank all of you for being here. And I'm sure that we probably left some out and they'll never speak to me again, you see? But all we can do is try. I have all these names written down, and they've worked very hard, and I said they really have to be mentioned because they've been tremendous supporters of all of us. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you. With us this afternoon is a very special friend of mine. He was with me from day one, before it was fashionable. And he picked a winner. It's like going to a horse race, isn't it? He picked a winner. But he had good feelings, and he was a tremendously loyal friend, and he's a great governor, and he's become more and more popular. I never want to see his approval rating go above mine. Otherwise, we'll have to come in and give it one slightly negative speech about Henry McMaster. Thank you, Henry. And also, please, Peggy McMaster, First Lady, congratulations on a job well done. Thank you, Peggy. She has been by his side, I'll tell you. Thank you very much, both. Great job you're doing, too, as governor. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett. Pamela, thank you. Pamela Evett, thank you. Thank you very much. And Alan Wilson's here someplace. Alan, thank you, Alan. Great job, Alan. Thank you very much. Two friends of mine that are warriors, really warriors, two great people, and you have them both. They're senators, and they fight, and somebody just said, Lindsay, we're up to 50 already, and I haven't even made a phone call. 50 out of 53. And they said, you get to 40, that's pretty good if you haven't done anything, but we're up to 50. I don't know if you've heard that, Lindsay. Did you hear that? And Tim said that was going to happen. But two really great men. They love your state, and they love the people of this country. They love our country. Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. Could you please stand? Thank you, fellas. Thank you. All I can say is thank goodness they're on my side. Because if they weren't, I'd have big trouble, right? They're warriors. They really are. They've done so many different things, tax cuts and all of the things we've done for our military and choice, military choice. They were right in there, and Tim and Lindsay, you never let the people down. Forget about me. You never let the people down. Thank you very much. Great job. And Representative Ralph Norman, I want to just mention he's been a friend of mine. He's been a warrior, very popular guy. But we learned a lot because Ralph had one election. He was so far ahead that everybody said, hey, let's not vote. He's going to win too easily. We can never let that happen again because he won. But it was a little closer than we thought. Everybody stayed home. We can never let that happen. So we always have to pretend we're 1 point behind, right? But he is a fantastic man, and he's been incredible, and he's really a popular person in South Carolina. And Joe Wilson. Joe, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Joe is an incredible guy, been with us from day one, I think, Joe, right? Day one, and he loves this state, and he loves our country. Thank you very much, Joe. Great job. Appreciate it. And Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin. Steve, thank you very much. Steve. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Great job. Thanks also to my good friends, Pastor Darrell Scott and Kareem Lanier. Where is Darrell? You talk about a warrior. This guy. I met him a long time ago. He was defending me on CNN, low ratings, CNN. And he was brutal. You know, I said, he's a pastor. He's a man of the cloth. And boy, can he go at it. So you have the two, you have that little dichotomy, but he never let it bother him. And what he has done in defending us, I will never, ever forget it. Darrell Scott has been incredible, both of them. But when I saw Darrell on television, I said, we have to find out who that man is. He's fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you, Darrell. And I always thought he was a very young guy. How many years are you married to your great wife? Only 38. I said, how many years are you married? I thought he was like 40 years old. He said, we're having our anniversary. He's got an incredible wife. Oh, how many years? 38 years. I said, you got to be kidding me. 38, right? 38. That's great. Congratulations, Darrell. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great friend of mine. And we're also joined by several outstanding members of my administration, people that have really made a difference. Secretary of HUD, Ben Carson. A man that has had more impact on investment in various cities and inner cities and people that really need help. An incredible, inspirational man, an unbelievable athlete, and somebody that's done a job that we can't even believe what a great job he's done. Because opportunity, you know, I don't know if you go see what's happening with opportunity zones. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. And I have to give Tim Scott a lot of credit for that, maybe all of it. You know, I go around, I talk about Tim Scott with they're not that familiar, and I say, yeah, there's a senator from South Carolina. I could be in the other parts of the country. Tim Scott, and they come to me, why did you mention Tim Scott? Why didn't you take more credit? I said, because honestly, it was his idea. We got it done together, but it was. And Tim, I don't think we could have picked a better person than Scott Turner to make our vision come true. It's the hottest thing there is. I don't think there's been anything like it. So, fantastic job. What a job. Jonathan Holyfield, who's with me, and J. Ron Smith, who's with me and been with me for a long time. I want to thank you both. I know J. Ron was back here. Where's J. Ron? He was back here. There he is. He never wants credit. You know, usually he'll stay back there, and I don't want you to be. I want you to be right where you should be. But you are, what a job you guys have done. Thank you very much. And a very special thanks to someone who worked tirelessly to get this law passed. You know, I've always said, I think I was telling Tim before, and I pulled Lindsay aside. I said, you know, I think he's a liberal. He could be a liberal. Jared Kushner, he could be a liberal. He wanted to get that through. He came to me. I said, Jared, okay, just don't ever come again, please. Just leave me alone. And we got it done, right, Jared? We called a couple of folks that people didn't think would come along, and they were incredible once they understood what we were doing. And it's really, you know, it's really worked out. It's been a while now, right? It's been a while, and it's really worked out. We've had tremendous support, and a lot of people are very happy. I want to extend my warmest condolences to the family and many friends of Elijah Cummings, who are celebrating his life today in Baltimore. Not long ago, I met with Elijah in the Oval Office, and I saw the passion he had with me for lowering prescription drug prices. He had a very strong passion for that. We're going to get it done. I will tell you, we are absolutely getting it done. But I was with Elijah, and I have rarely seen anybody want to do something like that. And we're going to have that done. Prescription prices are coming down. We had the first year in over 50 years where they have actually come down. And if we could get support on the other side, we'll get those prices so far lower than they are right now, you wouldn't even believe it. I think people are going to be very surprised. So I want to give my warmest respects, please. Every African-American leader here today, we have a lot of great leaders from all parts of our country, is very proud of a noble heritage. Throughout our history, African Americans have strengthened, uplifted, sustained, defended, and inspired the United States of America. At the founding of our republic, African American heroes gave their lives for the cause of independence. In the next century, leaders like Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass escaped the evil of slavery and fought for the ideals enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, that we are all created equal and that our rights come from God. True. In the 20th century, African American churches, civic organizations, and HBCUs, like this one, this great one that we have right here, it's a beauty. It's a nice auditorium, too, by the way, I have to say. Go to a lot of places. This is one of the nicer ones. Do you mind if we come back? But you help lead the righteous struggle to secure civil rights. African Americans have given their blood, sweat, and tears for this nation. You're entitled to a government that protects your families, your jobs, your safety, and that always puts American citizens first. So true. So true. From the beginning, my vow has been to stand up for those who have been forgotten, neglected, overlooked, and ignored. And we stand up loudly and clearly in our nation's capital. My goal has been to give a voice to the voiceless and to make Washington see and hear those who have been made to feel silent and to feel invisible. Although criminal justice reform was not a theme of my campaign initially, when I came into office, I heard from countless leaders and listened to many diverse points of view, including to our great church leaders and religious leaders, everyone from governors to law enforcement officers, faith-based ministries. They all came to see me, asked me to fight on behalf of this forgotten community. I knew criminal justice reform was not about politics. To this day, not sure that what I did was a popular thing or an unpopular thing, but I know it was the right thing to do. Thank you. Last year, Kim Kardashian West and Kanye West, they came to see me, really good people, they really are. And they told me the story of a woman named Alice Johnson. Alice had already served 22 years for a first-time nonviolent drug offense. And she was going to be in prison for, it looked like, at least another 28 years. It's her whole life. During her time in prison, Alice became a minister and mentored fellow inmates. She's an incredible woman. She took responsibility for her actions, but her sentence was simply not proportionate to her crime. And that's why I commuted Alice's sentence. And I'll never forget the scene. She came out of prison and there were her children, all grown up, big, strong guys, beautiful, really beautiful, incredible women with such love in their hearts, and they embraced and they kissed and they hugged and they cried outside of this big, monstrous prison. It was a scene that played all over our country, and it was a scene that I don't think anybody has any idea the impact of what that had on a lot of people that don't maybe think like we do. It had an incredible impact. It was a beautiful thing to see. There was so much love. That was true love. And that was a truly happy family. And that was something they never expected. 28 more years. I knew in that moment that I made the right decision. And we're all delighted that Alice is with us. She's been such an incredible representative. In fact, sometime I'm going to sit her down and ask, what is it that you do? Please explain it to me, Alice, because I'd like to have a little bit of what you have. But she has been. She's got an incredible warmth and passion, and she really is a very special person. I've gotten to know her. So Alice, please come up and say a few words. Alice, thank you. Thank you, darling.
I never, in my wildest dreams, would have thought that I'd be standing before such a group as this. What an honor. Being incarcerated, separated from my family for 22 years, almost 22 years, was one of the hardest challenges of my life. When one person goes to prison, it impacts not only that person, but their family, their communities, their society. For generations, we are impacted. Criminal justice reform is not a partisan issue. We are human beings. I represent, as you see my face here, see the faces of the ones that you will never see unless we come together, unless we come together to act, to cause other families to be reunited the way that I was reunited with my family. It was only by the grace of God that our president's heart was touched by my story and signed papers to commute my sentence. Kim, and I want to thank all of you for the warm reception that I have received since I came home. I think that my story touched so many who saw it, who read about it, who heard about it, because we are just regular people. When I came home, I didn't come home as an ex-felon. I came home as a returning citizen. So I just want to say thank you again for all of the work that is being done. I thank all of our legislators who have come together and put aside all of their political differences to work on this very important issue, because this truly has become a movement, and it is one that we as returning citizens would not allow you to forget those who have been left behind. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Alice. And Alice's story not only touched my heart, but it showed me that significant disparities and injustices can exist in the criminal justice system. And I actually went to Alice and I said, Alice, you were in a prison for 22 years. You got to know a lot of people in that prison. How many people do you have that were, there's only one Alice, right? But people like you, people that are there for so many years for something that really it's time to come out. And I said, because I want their names. And she knows, right? She knows the ones that we're talking about. Some great people are there. And so we're going to work on that, right? You're going to give me a big list, and we're going to do some good things, okay? She goes, probably. Thank you, Alice. Great job.
All right, folks, I hope that you guys can hear me. I'm really trying to fix this microphone. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it's just on my end. Let me know in, how you're hearing it. If it's staticky, if it's too loud, if it's too low, let me know. But we do have footage from inside the White House where President Trump is going to be delivering his speech on judicial confirmation milestones. President Trump has confirmed more judges than any modern day president, folks. So that is a huge milestone that President Trump has achieved. And Mitch McConnell is in the House also, or in the White House. And also other Republican senators. I'll put that on your screen right now. So here you go. As you guys can see, there's Mitch McConnell, and there's Lindsey Graham and Attorney General Barr, and a bunch of very prominent Republicans from the Senate. So make sure you guys please share this live stream on social media. Thank you so much to everyone that has shared this live stream already, but we do need your help, folks. We do not come up on any type of search. We don't come up on Google search, YouTube search. We don't come up on Facebook. We don't come up on Twitter. We don't come up on Reddit. We don't come up on nothing, absolutely nothing. We have been completely scrubbed off of any search engines, whether it be social media or Google or Bing or Yahoo search, if that still exists. We don't have any of those, any availability when it comes to that, folks. That is the reason why we rely on our viewers sharing our live stream, so we can at least come up on Facebook, so we can at least come up on Twitter, so we can at least come up on, on Reddit. We do not come up on nothing. We're not found. The only way that we are found is by word of mouth, folks. So if you'd like to help out Golden State Times, please share this live stream on your Facebook or on your Twitter, on your Reddit, or on any other social media that you guys might have. I know some people are on Gab, some people are on whatever the other ones are called. I don't even know. There's so many. But that's the only way that people get to see our coverage. It's the only way. We already confirmed that we do not come up on any social media searches or on any of the searches of Google or Yahoo or Bing or DuckDuckGo. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, DuckDuckGo is, it's not from the mainstream people. It's on their own." It's not true. They're all exactly the same. DuckDuckGo has also scrubbed us off of their search. So they're exactly the same as Google or Bing or any of those other search engines. We do not come up on there either. So that's the reason why we need help. And the best way to help us is by clicking the thumbs up button and also sharing this live stream on social media. We'll give shout outs to everyone that is sharing the live stream on Facebook or Twitter in just a few seconds. Here, let me do that right now. That way we don't get President Trump doesn't come out and then we don't get to do any shout outs. So let's do that right now. So what I do is I go to Twitter first and I look up Trump Live and I see if anyone is sharing the live stream. And we have one right here, Deplorable Tiger Fan. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Twiggy Bits, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. Also, folks, don't forget to follow us on Twitter if you have it. If you're sharing the live stream, don't forget, follow us at Gold State Times, not Golden, Gold State Times on Twitter. Thank you so much to MES for your support in sharing the live stream. Cha-cha-cha-zing. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Kristen, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Bless You All from the Homeless to the President. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. Let's see. We also have Cinnamon Acid. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have The O'Toner. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. Let's see. Who else do we have on here, folks? We have Valinor. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Salmon, thank you so much for sharing the stream. JFK Jr. 2024. Thank you so much for your continued support. Declass and Release It All. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Once again, let's see. If you guys share the live stream on Facebook and Twitter, we'll give you guys a quick shout out as a thank you. Q-Doll, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And I think that's it. Oh, here we go. We have another one. We have Hajitola Chick. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And I saw one more. Here we go. Grandma Shirley 77. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And we also have Revdana. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. That's the only way we come up on this search, folks. That's the only way. Expose Z-Wolf. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And we have one more here. Suzanne Gamble. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. And we also have Jesse Polkinen. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Let's see if we have any more on here, folks. We have Peyton Victoria Wooden. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. And I think that's it for now. Oh, here we go. Donna Castell, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. And okay, folks. So if you share the live stream on Facebook or on Twitter, we'll give you guys a quick shout out. Thank you so much to Steve X7B for sharing the stream. Don Brown, thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. Michael, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing the stream. Hey, Mickey, thank you so much for sharing the stream. David Miller. And we also have Rob Anders. Thank you so much for sharing the stream on social media. I Stand With Flynn, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Luis Rodriguez, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. We have Suzanne Gamble, thank you so much for sharing the stream. The Patriot Pin, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Charlotte Paul, thank you so much for sharing the stream. And Richard Reynolds, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We have Mark, and we have John Weimer. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for sharing the stream. Grayson Maloney, thank you so much, Grayson, for sharing the stream. And we also have Carla Phillips. Thank you so much, Carla, for sharing the stream. Deplorable Tiger Fan, thank you so much for sharing the stream. Joe and B, thank you so much for sharing the live stream. And I think that's it. All right, folks. President Trump should be coming out very, very soon. All right, folks. So as you guys can see, we're not like the one-trick pony. We cover everything that has to do with the president. We know that there is a rally. We know 100% that there is a rally, but we do not care. The president has a speech right now, and we are doing this live stream for that speech. This is extremely important. We're not like the one-trick pony that is already streaming the rally for absolutely no reason. President Trump doesn't start his rally speech until 5 hours from now. 5 hours from now, folks. There's no reason to start the rally speech or the President Trump rally 5 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours before. That's stupid. That's extremely stupid to do. But we are not the one-trick pony. The one-trick pony had already started the Trump rally, which is stupid. We cover the president completely. We don't pick and choose just because rallies are, give the most views. We do not care. We stream everything that has to do with the president. So if the president is doing a speech right now, if the president does the presser and just, right after this, when he gets when he boards Air Force One, that we're going to be there. We're going to upload that video. If the president does a speech right an hour before the rally, we will do that too. Once again, we are not the one-trick pony. The one-trick pony only focuses on rallies because that's the only thing they're good at. We cover everything, folks. We cover everything. Wherever the president goes, whenever the president speaks, we are there. We are doing it live, or we're uploading it onto the channel. We cover the president completely. We don't only pick and choose whatever is more convenient for us. We cover him 100%. So if you want that type of coverage where we cover the president and we follow the president no matter where he goes, no matter what speeches he does, no matter where he is, if you want that type of coverage, then we encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and we encourage you to click the notification bell. That way you get an update and a notification from YouTube whenever we upload or we go live for an event, just like this one. Once again, we know that it's Rally Day, and Rally Day is one of the best days, but the president is not just doing the rallies. He's not just doing that. That's not the only thing that he does all day. He is going to deliver this speech. He is going to do a presser right before he gets on Marine One, and then he's going to do the rally. So we are going to cover this event. We are going to cover the presser right before he boards Marine One, and then after that, we will cover live President Trump's rally. So shame on the one-trick pony for only picking and choosing what he does. But that's the way they do it. This is the way we do it, and we will do it now in 2020, all the way to 2024 and beyond. All right, folks, we'll be giving shout outs in just a few moments to everyone that is sharing the live stream. Someone in the chat said, this was funny. This is really, really funny. So Aaron C on the chat says, don't go into the bathroom with President Trump, though. No, President, a lot of people might do this as a joke where they say that President Trump tweets from the can. We are pretty much certain that he does tweet from the can, especially very early in the morning. And no, we're not going to follow him into the bathroom, but we are going to cover him on every single speech that he does. This was on the schedule. We get the schedule every single night around between 4 to 7 p.m. the night before. And we know all of these events, all these speeches are going to happen the following day. So we know exactly what we're going to be doing for the next day. And once again, we cover the president 100%, folks. Every speech that he does, we're there. We're covering it either live or recording it to be uploaded onto the channel, depending on what the White House or what the rules of the White House is. So some events are allowed to live stream, other events are only allowed to film. So depending on what the White House rule is for that speech, that is what we do. This speech, this event, very important event, this event is live streaming is allowed, so that's why we're live streaming it. Stuff like meetings, bilateral meetings, Oval Office meetings, stuff like that, most of the time is all recorded. So that's the reason why we upload it after it happens. But this is live, folks. This is live from the White House. President Trump is coming out to talk about his federal judicial confirmation milestones. He has confirmed more federal and judicial judges than any president in modern history. The only one that beats him is George Washington. That's the only one. We saw that we have some Patriots here that have become members. We want to welcome Daniel Miglaris. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I did not say that right. But thank you so much and welcome. We also have Diana Wright. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And we'd like to welcome Diana Wright as a new member. Thank you so much to Annette Nevin for your support through Super Chat. All right, folks. So let's see here. President Trump should be coming out very soon. We just got confirmation. He's 10 minutes out. So make sure you guys please share this live stream on social media. We're going to give shout outs here in just a few moments. And what's it called? Let's see. All right. So President Trump should be coming out very, very soon. All right, folks. So we have some breaking news. President Trump says that he has spoken with Turkish President Erdogan today, and it looks like he is set to meet with the Turkish president at the White House on November the 13th, folks. Once again, President Trump says that he has spoken with Turkish President Erdogan today, and he looks forward to seeing that president at the White House on November the 13th. November the 13th, folks, and we are going to be there live to cover all of those events. Hopefully they do a joint press conference, but most definitely they're going to do an Oval Office meeting, and we are going to be uploading those videos onto the channel, so make sure you guys stay tuned. November the 13th, folks. November the 13th, set it on your calendars. President Trump is set to welcome Turkish President Erdogan on November the 13th. Just wanted to let you guys know.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have another big record stock market day and another record in the stock market in the history of our country, which to me means jobs and a lot of other things. We're doing really well, and just wanted to let you know, I think it's the 119th day that we've set a record, so that's good stuff. So good afternoon, and thank you all for being here as we celebrate a profoundly historic milestone and a truly momentous achievement. Thanks to many of the people here today, my administration and Republicans in Congress have now confirmed more than 150 federal judges, and to be honest with you, it's substantially higher right now than that, Mitch. It's about 159, and we should have within the next short period of time, like 2 months, we should have about 182 federal judges. How's that? Good? Good? And I say often, percentage-wise, you'll never beat one man. We know who that is, right? George Washington, 100%. But in terms of, I'd like to say quality and quantity, we are going to be, I think, just about number one by the time we finish, number one of any president, any administration. So I want to thank all of you for the incredible job you've done. That's really fantastic. Thank you very much. That's a big statement. And they will uphold our Constitution as written. These distinguished men and women are some of the most gifted scholars, respected jurists, and finest legal minds ever placed on the federal bench. Together, we're restoring American freedom, defending American justice, preserving the extraordinary vision of our founding fathers. We're delighted to be joined on this special occasion by Vice President Mike Pence. Thank you, Mike, very much. Thank you, Mike. And Attorney General Bill Barr. Thank you, Bill. I want to thank some real friends of mine, too, and warriors. I have to say, warriors. We have a lot of great warriors in our party, and it's, I think it's necessary, frankly, to be a warrior. If you're not, you got a problem, right? But I want to thank Chairman Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, thank you very much. Great. A very special man. A man that's so popular in his state, I don't even think they're going to run anybody against him anymore. They've given that up. Chuck Grassley, right, Chuck? And also with us are Senator John Cornyn. I looked at your polls. Nobody's beating you, John. Nobody. And you don't have to worry about Beto anymore, that's for sure. From Texas. He doesn't like guns, religion, or oil. He knocked out all three categories. Somehow in Texas that won't work. I don't think that works anywhere, Josh. What do you think? That doesn't work anywhere. Good. John Cornyn, Mike Lee. Mike, thank you very much. Senator Ted Cruz, also Texas. Thank you, Senator. Thanks, Ted. Senator Tom Tillis. Tom, thank you very much. Senator Ben Sass. Ben, great to have you, Ben. And Senator Marsha Blackburn. Marsha, thank you. Great job you're doing. And Josh Hawley, our young star. He's a young star. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Great job, everybody. In addition, the nation owes an immense debt of gratitude to a man whose leadership has been instrumental to our success. It's so important to him, and he always mentions it, number one point. I've always heard, actually, that when you become president, the most important thing you can do is federal judges. They say Supreme Court judges, but we have them too, but federal judges. And based on that, I think there's nobody that's done a better job ever than Senator Mitch McConnell. Stand up, Mitch. Stand up. Come on, stand up. I always get up and I talk about the economy. I'm always talking. They never write about it, but that's okay. The people get it. But Mitch will then follow me. He'll talk about judges, always. And it's great what you've done, incredible. The impact is truly amazing. Thank you very much. We also, as you know, we have 2 great Supreme Court judges. So that's in addition to what will be 182 judges. And then we go by what I call normalization after you get to 182. But our Supreme Court judges are great gentlemen. It was so easy to get them confirmed, right? One in particular, nobody has ever had to go through that, and I have great respect for both of them, so we appreciate it, Mitch. Great job. Generations from now, Americans will know that Mitch McConnell helped save the constitutional rule of law in America. It's true. It's for a long time. I also want to thank Pat Cipollone and his phenomenal team at the White House Counsel's Office, along with our Office of Legal Policy. Where is Pat? Where's Pat? Stand up, Pat. Come on. He's the strong, silent type. Strong, he's very strong, silent. Great job you've done. Very great. I always wanted to be the strong, silent type, but it never worked out for me, Lindsay. Never worked out. I want to be, but it doesn't seem to work that way. But the Office of Legal Policy at the Department of Justice and the many friends and legal luminaries who have supported all of those nominees, and to all of the rest of you in the room, some incredible people in this room, great friends. In their wisdom and genius, the framers of the Constitution separated government power into 3 branches. Congress writes the laws. The executive enforces the law, and the judicial branch provides an impartial interpretation of the laws that applies to any case before them. This system was designed to protect citizens against the unjust concentration of governmental power. And I do say I think we're going through a very interesting time right now, if you must know, more interesting than at most other times. When judges assume the role of a legislature, the rights of all citizens are threatened. The great English jurist William Blackstone warned that if the judicial power were joined with the legislative, then life, liberty, and property would be in the hands of arbitrary judges whose decisions would be then regulated only by their opinion and not by any fundamental principles of law. In other words, the impartial and objective judge who is a faithful servant of the law is essential to the survival of American liberty. So it's really something. It's really something that you've all done. This is such a big moment in our history, and I think what I'm going to do is, as we go along, I'm going to ask a couple of you to say a few words, if that's okay. Because I think it's appropriate. It wasn't in the schedule, but I think it's very appropriate to have a few speak. You have to promise it's going to be very quick and short because the media won't stand for anything else. But I would like to get your views. I think it would be very interesting for all of us. In recent decades, our system has been under relentless attack by the left-wing activists who want to take the powers of the elected branches and give that power to unelected federal judges. They want to impose by judicial decree what they failed to win at the ballot box. Does that sound familiar to anybody? That's really familiar. When judges write policy instead of applying the law, they impose sweeping changes on millions of Americans without the benefit of legislative debate, public rulemaking, or the consent of the governed. As a result, these highly political rulings inflict painful damage on our security, society, and economy, imposing unworkable edicts on businesses, workers, families, and law enforcements really alike. They give many, many bad nights to many, many people, including presidents. But we power through it. We have no choice. I will do everything in my power to halt judicial activism and to ensure the law is upheld equally fairly and without political prejudice for all of our citizens. So I'd like to, before going any further, I'd like to maybe start off, I think it would be appropriate if we start off with Mitch to just say a couple of words and how he feels about where we are and what we're doing. And we're going to go through a couple of our friends, if you don't mind. And to me, it'll be very interesting. Mitch McConnell, thanks. Good.
Well, Mr. President, I'm reminded of election night when I realized that not only had you won, but we had taken the House, we had held the Senate, and this was going to be one of those unusual periods where Republicans had all three branches. To show you how unusual that is, you go back 100 years, only about 20 of the last 100 years has our party had all three. And we got a chance to set the agenda, an opportunity to move the ball in the right direction. What's the most important thing? Clearly, it was the Supreme Court. You had been helped enormously by a decision that I made, and these guys backed me up, not to let President Obama fill that Scalia vacancy on the way out the door. And boy, you didn't blow it. Neil Gorsuch is an all-star, isn't he? And the president alluded to that easy confirmation we had with Brett Kavanaugh. You made a great choice, Mr. President. And it's not just that. The circuit courts, where 99% of litigation stops, are full of bright, young men and women who believe in the quaint notion that maybe the job of a judge is to follow the law. And so, Mr. President, this is one of the many ways you're helping to make America great again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mitch. You know, it is true, when I first came to office, because of what I said before, that I've always heard how important it is, the choice of judges and the number of judges. And in my first day, I said to one of our assistants, how many judges do I have to pick? How many are there? And I figured I'd hear none or one, maybe two. They said, sir, you have 142. I said, no. Tell me truth. I want the truth. That was it. And I say, thank you, President Obama, very much. But it was 142 empty slots, and nobody can believe that. And I couldn't believe it and didn't believe it, but now I believe it, because now we've got so many approved, and we're going to hit that magic number. And then it's going to be a lot more from there, because you do have a lot of, through normalization, leaving and other reasons, retiring. I never want to mention the D word, the death word. I won't mention death, but that happens too. But we're going to be picking up a lot. A man that I have a lot of respect for, and everybody does in the Senate, Chuck Grassley. Come up and say a couple of words, Chuck. Come on up here.
Now, like I tell my colleagues, if I yell, I'm not mad at you. Let me say what set the stage for this. before any of us had anything to do with this. You ran on a platform that no other president has run on to tell the type of people that you were going to put on the Supreme Court. And named 20 or 25 people, and that list is still out there. And it's made up of just the kind of people that Mitch McConnell's talked about, you've talked about, people that are constitutionalists. And you kept your word. And 20% of the people voted for you based on the proposition of the kind of people you were going to put on the Supreme Court. So a lot of candidates for any office run on a platform, but they don't stand on that platform. And I think what's important about not only the judges that you have appointed along the lines of what you promised the people you're going to appoint, but also a lot of other issues that you stand for. And the people of this country ought to be complimented that we have a president that said he was going to run on a platform, and he stands on that platform, and you've particularly done it for judges.
He's great. Thank you. You know, he's got this fierce way about him. He's tough even when he's trying to be nice. Like now he's, but I heard that voice. I shouldn't say this, but he looked during one of the big events in the United States Senate. He looked at a guy named Comey. He said, "Did you leak?" And he was being nice. And Comey choked. He didn't know what to say. He was so frightened of this guy. He choked. I want him to start looking that stuff up, by the way, please. Please look it up. A lot of choke there. Another man who's been incredible, and he's been a friend of mine for a long time. We actually competed against each other. He wasn't at all nice during the campaign. And who would have thought we would have become good friends, right? Who would have thought? But we did. And I could say the same for Ted, right? Well, we were good friends and then really bad. They said, when will it get bad? The media. It's like the Academy Awards. Look at all the media. Before, when it was successful. It died when they went after us, okay, the Academy Awards. Regular, just a regular program now. But I said, Ted and I get along good. In fact, he was having a big event near the White House, and he wanted to get more people, so he invited me. He said, "Can you come?" I said, "You know, we're running against each other. This is true." And the press said, "Well, you two guys are actually campaigning together, and yet you're fighting each other for the nomination." And I said, "That's right. We like each other. We get along great. I think he's great. We both had this incredible relationship." I said, "But don't worry. It'll end. And when it ends, it'll be really bad, probably worse than normal." And it was vicious for about 4 months, but then we have a great relationship again. It was a pretty bad one for a little while, right? They didn't even think how bad it would get, but it has been. It's been great, Ted. Lindsay, I'd like to have you come up and say a few words. You've been terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, in theory, at 4 o'clock, we're going to vote on 2 more judges. So I'll move this thing forward. So after I got beat like a dog, which he likes hearing, he called me over to the White House and said, "I'd like you to help me." I said, "I'd love to help you be a great president because you're now my president." And he says, "I don't have your phone number." And I said, "There's a reason for that." So the highlight of my campaign was when you gave out my phone number. If I did as well as my phone number, it might have been a different story. To the committee, thank you. The Judiciary Committee is not for the faint of heart. Our Democratic friends are tough. They believe in their causes, and we have to fight hard for our causes. But one thing I want to say about President Trump, the defining moment of your presidency for me was the Kavanaugh hearing. This room would be empty if we had failed Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh lived a life we should all be proud of. He worked hard, and the way he was treated was the worst experience I've had in politics. A lot of people would have pulled the plug on him. Mr. President, thank you for not pulling the plug. And let me tell you why it's important. Who would have been after Brett if it went down? What conservative young lawyer would want to go through this if we'd failed Brett Kavanaugh? So Chuck was right. When you run and you get reelected a year from now, one of the main reasons is that people in the conservative world believe that you fight for judges. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very nice. But we can say that for everybody here. We had, I don't think any, look, I know you all very well. I don't think anybody had any thoughts of doing anything different, at least in this group. I will say, and that includes Mike. At that time, we didn't know Bill. He wasn't involved. Came at a good time, Bill. That was a tough time. But you know what? Nobody in this group, I will say though, and you know this, and Mitch knows this, there were plenty of other people that were saying, let's go to maybe another choice. And they didn't say it so nicely. And the people that you know very well, the people that you work with every day, but I can tell you, I know every one of you very well, and there was nobody that I think even thought about it in this group, right? So not anybody. And that starts with Mitch, because you never gave me the call, said maybe we can do it an easier way. But I told Brett Kavanaugh, I picked him, and he said 10 years ago they were talking about him. I would hear that he would be someday a Supreme Court justice. That was before I was in this wonderful life of politics. I could enjoy my life and think about all sorts of things. And they would say that Brett Kavanaugh is going to be a Supreme Court judge. And anyway, he was on the list. Leonard Leo, thank you for being here. We had a list that you worked on very hard, and others. And it did have an impact. It really did have an impact on the election, if you think about it, because people knew me very well, but they didn't know. Was he liberal, conservative? Who are the judges? And I'd hear so much about, but who are your judges? And I did come up with an idea to pick 20 and 25 people. Ultimately, it was 25, and we put great people on. We have great people on there right now. We have 23 left, right? Great people. Every one of them is terrific. But I went with this list. And at first I said, I will take this list, gave the names, and I will pick people. Do you remember this, Lindsay? That are like these people. And I got nowhere. Nobody believed me. They said, what does that mean, like these people? I said, no, they'll be like these people. And I was being hammered. They said, say it, President, to a potential president. I said, okay, it will only be these people. And that's what we have, and that's where it is. And they were just so respected as a group, and still are. It's an incredible group of people. I could take anyone, literally, and that had a big impact. But I said to Brett Kavanaugh, I said, so Brett, you're the one. You're the one. He was so honored. He said, sir, this is the greatest day of my life. And I said, I just want to congratulate you. It's an amazing thing that I'm doing it and that you're receiving it. He said, sir, thank you very much. I said, Brett, let me tell you something. This approval process that you're going to go through will be so fast and so easy. You're perfect. Perfect life, perfect family, perfect education, top scholar, best schools. Brett, this is going to be so easy. Little did he know. Little did he know. But I'll tell you what, it really represented something. It represented unfairness. And some of those people that came forward, to my way of thinking, all of those people that came forward, I thought it was disgraceful what happened. And I want to thank all of my Republican colleagues for standing up tall for a man who really didn't deserve what he went through. Nobody could have believed a thing like that could have happened to a man like that. And you could almost say to anybody, because nobody's ever seen anything. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. But he hung in strong too. He also hung in strong. You know, there were plenty of people, I'm sure, that say, you gotta cut yourself loose. He didn't want to do that. So it was a very important day, Lindsay, and you were a big part of it. I think your ratings went from about 50 to about 82 as I see him now, Lindsay. 82 with one little speech that lasted. He made one speech, Bill. One little few remarks that lasted for about a minute, and They were historic. They really were. They were historic. The delivery, the words, the whole thing was very important, and what you did was something very special, so thank you very much. So important. From the beginning of my campaign, I promised to appoint judges who will adhere to the true and original meaning of our Constitution. This afternoon, that promise was made, and that promise was kept, and I think many times over. Later today, the Senate will vote on our 158th new judge, and that's why I'm going to let you get out of here so quick. Of course, if you're not there, I guess, Mitch, nothing's going to happen, so it doesn't matter. So I'll keep you a little bit alone. But we will have confirmed, as I said, 112 judges to the federal district courts, 44 judges to the federal circuit courts, and 2 outstanding judges to the United States Supreme Court. And that number is rapidly rising. Now, 1 out of every 4 circuit judges currently on the bench was appointed by this administration, and that number has now exceeded that by quite a bit. No president in history has confirmed as many circuit court judges, even close, not even close, in such a short period of time. The average age of my newly appointed circuit court judges is less than 50. They're young, smart. That's 10 years younger than President Obama's nominees. The pace of appointments is only accelerating. It's going very quickly. And then, at some point, we're going to have to slow it down because we're not going to have any openings, you know that. But we'll find them. We'll find them. We'll find them. Would you like to add a few judges? And that wouldn't be a bad idea. How about adding another 100 or so? We'll be able to fill. But we're on track to have more judges confirmed this year than in the prior 2 years combined for us, and will be a record in history, the number of judges that we're getting in just a short period of time. Once all pending nominations are confirmed, I will have appointed about 219 judges, and that number will go up very substantially from that. But the more gains we make, the more aggressive the hard left has become. I probably shouldn't even be making this speech right now. I'm just driving them crazy. They'll go back and they'll have even more craziness than they've had in the last 3 years. Can you imagine? 3 years already. It's 3 years. Who could believe it? Almost. In fact, in 2 days less than a year, we'll be fighting an election. And we actually had a very big night last night. We had some tremendous results last night. And I'll be leaving for Louisiana. I think we're going to have a great result in Louisiana. But one of their favorite new tactics is the nationwide injunction. This very destructive practice enables any one of 673 district judges to single-handedly invalidate critical executive actions and stop the enforcement of duly enacted law. We've had it many times, especially when it comes to our border. And when you see what's going on the other side of the border, people are starting to say, maybe he is right about the wall, and maybe he is right about having a very strong border. The other side wants open borders, which brings tremendous crime, and now people are starting to see it. A lot of people have told me that over the last couple of days. They're starting to get the border thing. The activist left only needs to find one partisan resistance judge anywhere in the country to agree with them. On perhaps no issue have these district court injunctions been more brazen and damaging than in the area of immigration. In case after case, judges are prohibiting us from enforcing the plain letter of the law. And you know that better than anybody, the people in this room. For example, federal law authorities expedited removal of illegal aliens apprehended within 2 years of entry. But a district court judge declared the law could only be applied to illegal aliens caught within 14 days. That's a tiny group of people, just a small fraction of what the law expressly allows. In the words of the late great Justice Antonin Scalia, whose son, thank you very much for the approval, Gene is now our Secretary of Labor. He's a great young guy. A good judge must suppress his personal views and must decide each case as the law dictates, not as he would have resolved the matter if he had drafted the law. We have a lot of them looking at it as if they had drafted the law. Let's create brand new law. Justice Scalia was correct. If federal judges want to write the law, they should run for Congress. Let them run for office. You think this is easy? It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, fellas, is it? Huh? It's nasty. Nobody told me it was going to be this nasty. But that's what they have to do. Let them run for office and let them do what they're supposed to do. Let them do the job the way it's meant to be. In recent years, the left-wing assault on our Constitution has also become a personal assault on the nominees themselves. It's nasty out there. And you're right, Lindsay. One of the reasons it was so important was that people watch this and they don't want us giving up on them. They don't want us, oh, let's take the next one down the pike. That would have been easier, by the way. It would have been much easier, but they don't want to see that. Nominees have been attacked in hearings for their religious beliefs. Our entire nation was stunned by the cruel campaign of lies and slander and abuse that was hurled at Justice Brett Kavanaugh, but we refused to cave in, and the left-wing mob, we will never, ever allow that to happen, where we give up, where we cave in, even if it's by far the easy decision to make. When it comes to defending our freedom, Republicans will not back down. We will never, ever give up. While I'm your president, we will continue to nominate highly qualified judges who truly love our Constitution. And I know that Leader McConnell and Chairman Graham are absolutely committed to getting them confirmed quickly. And they have been going quickly. Of course, I'd like to get some other people confirmed too, please. Some of the other people, Mitch would say, well, we got to do the judges first, and I always agree with him. I have a lot of people waiting over there, but he says, I want those judges, and I agree with him. Every judge we have placed on the bench will hear thousands of cases over their careers. They will ensure equal justice for every party before them, regardless of age, race, income, religion, beliefs, or background. And they will safeguard the birthright of liberty that belongs to every man, woman, child in our land. But it is not merely their responsibility to protect and defend the Constitution. It's our responsibility as well. Every American shares that glorious duty we have inherited as citizens of the greatest and most exceptional country the world has ever known. And we have to keep our country as the greatest the world has ever known, because that great title can end if we are foolish and if we make mistakes. You see what's happening? You see what's going on? You see the statements that are made and the ideas being put forward. It would no longer be a great country, certainly not for very long. For the sake of our families, our children, and generations of Americans yet unborn, we will fight with all of our heart and soul to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the immortal rights given to us by Almighty God. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats as the President departs the East Room. Thank you.
All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. Just a friendly reminder, folks, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and you click the notification bell. That way you can stay up to date on everything that is going on in politics. Don't forget, today there is a Trump rally. So if you are subscribed to the channel and the notification bell is on, hopefully YouTube will send you a notification. Once again, today there is a President Trump rally in Louisiana. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you are new to the channel, subscribe and click the notification bell. Thank you so much, folks, and we will see you soon. Peace.